Ron Van Dam is as American as apple pie. Salty, tart, really quite bitter apple pie. But you know, even the worst pie, come on, it's still pie. You're listening to the downright delicious Ron Van Dam Show on New England Broadcasting.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
I am downright delicious.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
I am delicious. Yeah, that's disgusting. Hey, welcome to the program. It is the Ron Van Dam Show. Thank you so much. Oh my God, stop applauding. This is embarrassing. Please sit down. Oh my God, please sit down. Oh, look at this. Oh, thank you. The adulation and love is overwhelming. Thank you so much. Please sit down. Please, thank you so much. This is ridiculous, isn't it? Hey, welcome to the program. It is the Ron Van Dam Show. I am Ron Van Dam. I swear I am. I'm the one in the middle. Thanks for being here. This could be fun. Thank you. All right, fine. Thank you so much. I don't know what day of the week this is. I'm not sure, but it's not important. How are you? Good to be with you. Have you checked yourself out recently? How are you doing? Can you move all of your limbs? Yeah. I had another weird night of sleeping for some reason. I woke up and my lower back hurts a little bit. Not the upper back, not the middle back, the lower back. I guess I have various parts of my back involved here. And yeah, I mean, it's just, again, I think I slept wrong. I've got to read that instruction booklet. Maybe it's my mattress. It's a television commercial. It says, if you can't sleep well and your back hurts when you wake up and you have aches and pains, it's probably your mattress. Yeah, right. It's probably the fact that you want $2,000 from me. Why are mattresses so expensive? The hell's the deal with that? It's foam inside of a thing. $2,000? Are you freaking kidding me? Who's pricing mattresses like that? Ron, it's supply and demand. I demand that you stop supplying me with these expensive mattresses. And then you make me feel guilty. Well, does your body ache? It's because you're a cheap son of a bitch and you won't buy an expensive mattress from us. How are we supposed to put our kids through college if you're not going to buy an expensive mattress? Stop it. It's not the mattress. Give me a break. Why is that so expensive? God. It's because you sleep on it every night. You use it for like 8 hours or 6 hours a night, so they make it expensive. It's like printing ink. I've talked about that before, but it pisses me off so much. Printer's ink. That's the ink you put in your printer. Seriously, it's a little tiny container. It is so small. It is there's like nothing in that thing, and yet it costs like it's like $70 for a tiny little infinitesimal little piece of ink. And it's not even colored ink. It's just black. How many vats and incredibly large containers of ink do you have in your ink production plant? You give me this tiny, minuscule little amount of ink and you charge me $70. It can't be worth that. It can't be worth that. It costs more than an EpiPen. I don't know how much they cost, but I think they're actually more expensive than ink. Black printing ink has got to be the most expensive thing on the planet. On the planet. The ink costs more than the printer itself. How bizarre and stupid is that? And we just swallow it. Well, we don't swallow the ink. It's a phrase. We take it. We say, okay, $70 for a little piece of ink? Sure, I guess that's the good price. No, it's not a good price. It's embarrassing. I feel stupid when I buy printing ink. I do. When I walk into a store, a brick and mortar, and I buy a tiny little box of printing ink, and inside the box, there's nothing in there. You open up the box, it's all packaging inside. There's this tiny little microscopic item inside. It's $70. What am I gold plating my ass? What the hell is with this thing? Why is it so expensive? Where does this ink come from? Is it the ink mines of New Zealand? The only place on the planet with black printing ink would be the solitary mines of New Zealand, mined by specialty people who have ink experience. The Incas actually invented printing ink. The Incas invented printing ink. It's ridiculous. Stop it. Just cut it out. I feel like a fool. I feel like when I walk up to the cashier at Staples, and I say, can I help you? Yes, I want to buy this printing ink. I feel like they're snickering. They turn around, they go, you're paying $70 for a little piece of ink. Look at him. Look at his schmuck over there, Sally. Look at him, Sally. Look at that schmuck over there. But you got to have it. If you have a printer, you got to have printing ink. How can the ink be more expensive than the printer? Does that make sense to you? No, it doesn't. But they get you, man. They get you. They get you. The social media stuff, they're getting you. They're getting you. Staples. That's a stupid name for a store. Ridiculous. It's like the only thing they sell. Hey, I need a ream of paper. You should go to Papers. Papers, is that a store? Yeah, they got a store just for staples. Can you believe that? Really? Are there different sizes of staples? No, I think there's just two sizes. There's the small little stupid stapler stuff, and then there's the regular staples. And that's about it. I don't know why they have a whole store for it. Yeah, they have other stuff in the store besides staples. They have printing ink. It should be called inks, but it's not. It's called Staples. It's so stupid. It's just, if you just stop and you look at everything around you, your only conclusion has to be, this is all very stupid. Because it is. I know a guy who plays the organ. He started playing keyboard when he was younger, and pianos. Now he actually has a little organ in his house. But every time he tells me this, I have to laugh because it also means other things. He plays his organ. What the hell? That sounds wrong. That sounds wrong. Playing with your organ. That's not good. It's not good. I understand what you're saying, but it means a couple of different things. It's like, I've talked about this before. I've talked about everything before. It's like the stores. I'll go back to it. I'll go back to it again. BJ's means something else as well. When you have a large warehouse and you call it BJ's, I can only assume what's going on inside. And then there's Dick's Sporting Goods, a fine, fine place, but that name that means something else as well. And if it's Saturday morning, you get in your car and you're going down to Dick's. I mean, come on, man. Welcome to Dick's. All right, I've got to see what you're putting on your shelf because I can't believe that's really true. I'm sorry if I'm offending you, by the way. I should have told you to get the kids out of the room before the show started because I may be talking about stuff that's a little sensitive to children. Children know a lot more than you think they do. Remember that thing where if you wanted to say a bad word or something that you didn't want your child to understand that you were saying, you would spell it out? You would assume that your child is stupid, that your very own child can't spell. Or when your child hears various letters, they can't, in their head, figure out what you're talking about. The assumption is, I will spell it out because my child is too stupid to figure out what I'm talking about. It's really bizarre. I do remember my parents spelling out certain things because my parents were very, very clean people. They never cursed around me ever, ever, ever. My entire childhood. Here's a little tidbit about me. And then I want you to tell me a little tidbit about you because I think that's only fair to do. Yeah, my parents never... Oh, this is a fact of the day. It is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please prepare yourselves. It is that time again for Ron's Fact of the Day.
Well, it's not really a fact. Well, it is a fact. My parents never cursed around me, ever. There were no curse. The only curse words that I ever heard when I was growing up were from other kids. My parents were very, very verbally clean. And they didn't replace it with stupid words either. Like, hey, get the jellyfish out of here. You know, that kind of thing where usually religious people, they substitute the dirty word with something that is so absurdly ridiculous that you know that the dirty word belongs in there. They just are not saying it. It doesn't really make any difference at that point. Get your God-loving fishing hook out of here. Oh, I think I understand what you really mean. My parents didn't even do that. They just didn't curse and didn't say bad words or even substitute words for bad words. So I was a very clean, angelic little child, but I was able to sound out words. I did have the intelligence to do that at a very young age, so it kind of never worked with me anyway. I did know how to spell, and most children do. And actually, the first words that they do know how to spell are the curse words. Anyway, I still to this day, if someone curses, I say, "What are you, a truck driver?" As if truck drivers, all they do is curse. They don't say any normal words, no socially acceptable words whatsoever. They curse all. Where are my fucking keys? Where's my fucking truck? I gotta drive this fucking. All piece of shit ass. They don't talk like that, but we somehow assume that truck drivers do. You're talking like a truck driver. I don't even understand what that means. I know some truck drivers, they don't talk like that. Maybe it's just the truck drivers that I know. Not that I know a lot of truck drivers. That's a you know, we talk about first responders and all that. Truck drivers, I respect them. First of all, to drive those huge, humongous vehicles, that takes an incredible amount of skill. It's something I couldn't do, probably. Or if I did do it, it would drive me nuts doing it. That's not an easy job. There's skill involved, there's a great responsibility. You're on the road all the time, which is the place where most people curse all the time. It's just it's a tough job, and it's an important job. Without truck drivers, we'd be in the situation that we are now without truck drivers. And I think that when you see the store shelves bare, or you can't get the thing that you need or want, it's because there weren't enough truck drivers to be able to supply. It's a vital job. It's almost as vital as the existence of liquor stores. Same thing. Same importance. I've been doing a lot of interviews recently with doctors about how during the pandemic, remember that? People started drinking alcohol, consuming alcohol on a much, much more frequent basis. And my response is always, yeah, and? What's your point? As we speak right now, I hate to get into the subject matter, but the number of cases of COVID are going up again. Fortunately, it's not the winter, and we are outside more frequently as we start this spring-summer thing that we tend to do. We do gather, but we're outside, and the variant, which is predominant right now in this country, is one of the mildest, probably the mildest strain of COVID so far. But the number of cases through almost every state in this country is going up again. But the hospitalizations are up a little bit, but not as drastically as the previous strains. We do have now medications. If you have COVID and it's serious and it's debilitating and a respiratory circus, we do have medication for it now. We didn't before. Now we do. More people are vaccinated than ever. Doesn't mean that you're not going to get COVID, only means that you're going to survive it and it won't be as horrendously horrible. I do believe that as a result, when this COVID thing is finally over in 72 years, that everybody will have had COVID at one point or another, just like everybody had the flu or everybody had a cold. But the cases are going up. People are having symptoms. It is being passed on, but we're shaking hands again. We're in crowds. It's, we're back to normal in that sense, but, we do have this health threat. More so than if there was no COVID. So you do still have to be careful. Don't throw your masks away just yet. If you're out in public, like sitting in a movie theater or shopping in a supermarket, you may say to yourself, putting on that little mask doesn't hurt me. I'll put it on for a couple of minutes while I'm in the store. I'll wear it for a couple hours while I'm watching a movie. Not a horrible idea. Not a horrible thing, COVID or no COVID. I think I'm pretty much resigned that when I go to a movie theater or to a theater, I will put the damn thing on. I don't know about a supermarket because I'm not that close to people, but sitting shoulder to shoulder in a theater, I think I'm going to be wearing this the rest of my life. I really do. I really do. I don't see the big problem with doing that. It's not for you. It's for me. Why not? And the older we get, and we all get older if we're even lucky to get older, we're all going to be in that same boat, where you just got to be a little bit more careful. Make sure you don't fall down. Make sure you protect yourself, and you have a healthy life. What can I tell you? Well, I'm starting to sound a little Jewish, huh? I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. It's Passover time. I understand the Passover story. I understand the Easter story. Both excellent stories. Whatever. Passover and Easter sometimes coincide. Sometimes they don't. This time around, pretty much of a very, very close cohabitation between the holidays and certain religions. Very, very nice. It's great. I mean, whatever. Did you buy your little Easter meal? You know, families gather for Easter. They have a ham. It's a pig holiday. And the Jewish people, they have Passover. They have a little ceremony that they actually do with various foods that represent different things. We're in a representational society. A friend gave me a little container of horseradish, homemade horseradish. He's probably listening to the show. I've tasted it. It's very, very tasty. The horseradish represents something. It's not horseradish. It is horseradish, but it represents a certain thing that has to do with the Passover story. So it's just interesting that I'm eating things that represent other things. I don't, I don't get into that too much, to be honest with you. If I eat a chicken, I'm basically eating a chicken, not an animal that represents my true emotional feelings about the Titanic tragedy. I don't know. Anyway, I do have an interesting guest coming up momentarily, and we shall embark upon the guest. But first, this short, tiny, very, very tiny commercial word. Actually, there's other ways that I make money. I do have conventions. I don't know if you've been to any of my conventions. Have you not? Oh, yeah. There's another one coming up.
Hi, this is Gary Feldstettler, and I'm one of the 14 people who regularly listen to the Ron Van Dam show.
Hey.
I was thinking recently that it's probably about time that we all got together to celebrate our appreciation of Ron Van Dam, and that's why I'm hosting the first ever RonCon next weekend at the Fairview Motel and Asian Massage Parlor Center. This will be a great opportunity for us to talk about what we love about Ron, wear our favorite Ron Van Dam costumes, and hold panel discussions on things like, why are those RMV people so miserable? And why does the waitress always come over when you have food in your mouth? And why do people at the next table have to be talking about their health issues when I'm trying to enjoy an eggplant rollatini? I can neither confirm nor deny the rumors that Ron Van Dam himself will make an appearance at RonCon, but that would be nice, right? So I hope to see you all there next weekend at RonCon. Most of you probably have my phone number already, so if you can't make it, just give me a call. I could probably get the deposit back on the room if this isn't a good idea, but can't hurt to try. I'm kind of lonely, like you.
Brad Tolkin joins us now. He's co-CEO and chairman of World Travel Holdings. We're talking about cruises, something we haven't talked about in quite some time. The cruise world is open again, I understand.
It is. Bookings are incredibly strong. The trajectory is amazing. And this is in spite of some macro challenges like the Ukraine conflict. Yeah.
Let's go back to the misconceptions, because I had one of them when this whole COVID thing started. You've heard of COVID, haven't you? This is
we have.
Yes. There was the big story about the cruise ship that could not dock because it had spread so quickly on a confined environment on a cruise ship, and this was the poster child for COVID at the beginning. That was not good, not good image. And that's the image that a lot of people still have.
So this started, obviously, in January of 2020 when a gentleman boarded the ship with COVID in Hong Kong, a Princess ship. And actually, the cruise lines did a magnificent job. We sailed almost 4 million people between that date and when we stopped cruising in the end of March. And they were able to quarantine Ships were not allowed to dock. Everyone froze. Even people like Dr. Fauci were saying that we didn't have masks and stuff like that. Didn't need masks back in January of 2020, and it wasn't going to come to the U.S. And the cruise lines just did a magnificent job when no one knew anything. And there were very, very few casualties aboard a ship because of their ability to recognize that something was going on and quarantine. And ships were already blessed with many health protocols because of things that have occurred in the past, many years in the past, like the norovirus.
Right.
But so they handled it magnificently, and then they stepped up their game because they had all of the procedures in place to handle COVID. And now the cruise line health and safety protocols represent the strongest actions taken by any industry to address COVID-19.
So that is, that actually what you say is absolutely true. Not that it wouldn't be either, but there have been many situations of illnesses on cruise ships where they swing into action and immediately address that with equipment that other factions didn't even possess. So that is the case. It's great to hear that the cruise industry is reignited for many reasons. Also, people want to get out of here and get back to their normal lives, and that involved cruising, which is it's I wouldn't call it an addiction, but it's a fall in love kind of thing. There are certain people that just love the cruise.
Yeah, people who take a cruise, if they love it, they are customers for life, and not taking just one trip per year, but multiple cruises per year. Many people on cruising, they go back to back because many of the itineraries, they don't leave the ship after the first rotation. They stay on for a second rotation. And today, these are really floating, luxury, all-inclusive resorts. So season cruisers, they might not get off at many of the ports because they have visited them. They just love the experience of being in this floating resort.
That's exactly what it is, a floating resort that is it's a city within itself, basically, and it's got everything. It's got more entertainment and more food that you could find in any given tourist area. So it is pretty amazing.
That is true, Ron. And you talked about more food. It's not just the quantity of food. Now, quality. Today, because of the size of the ships, they're blessed with more restaurants than one would find at a resort hotel.
True.
Many of the ships charge a surcharge for these because they truly are a premium, luxury, quality experience with Michelin star chefs representing some of these restaurants on board ships.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. And all the ports are pretty much open. Certainly that were before. I mean, it's just it's a great thing to do. How do you go about doing something like that? Do you do a travel agent? Do you do directly to a cruise line? What would one do if they were excited about getting involved in this? So
I am a travel agent, but I always use a travel agent if it's something that my company doesn't sell. The vacation choices are just too vast, Ron, to not use a professional. And the biggest misconception in travel, not only in cruising, but all walks of travel, is that people think they will get a better value, Ron, by booking directly with the supplier. A professional travel counselor will put you on the right product, ensure that any loyalty program benefits you are entitled to or received, and Ron, they'll deliver a better price value than booking direct. That I guarantee.
Well, also, it's very difficult to book all kinds of factions and make arrangements and transportation to the boat and all that kind of stuff without having it coordinated. That's like, who has the better deals, you or somebody who does this professionally with all the contacts?
Back in the early days of the internet, there was an excitement to try and do it yourself.
Yes.
But I have 3 children, millennials. They're all married now, and they value their time and they value the expertise. No different than if using an accountant or a lawyer, depending upon what the situation is. Yeah. And they want to use a travel agent. They want it handled for them. They don't want to sift through the internet, which is just overwhelming.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, certain things you let the professionals do it and you get a better quality deal. Also, you live life once. Do it right. Don't skimp and shrimp and dimp on stuff like that. Make it an experience. Right. Make it an experience where it's just hassle-free.
This is expensive, so people should value a professional because they're spending a lot of money. This is not like going and buying a hammer at the store. If the hammer doesn't work, it's costing you $15.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot of celebrities and musical groups are actually doing cruises. So and that's phenomenal, where you can hear your favorite artists perform multiple nights. And the shows are right on board, and that's kind of new. I don't remember that in the past, although maybe I just didn't know about it.
Well, we call those theme cruises, and they became much more popular when the size of the ships got substantially bigger, and ships started to really change in size in 2009 with the introduction by Royal Caribbean of the Oasis of the Seas, and it allowed for people to enjoy theme cruises, but people who did not want to participate in that not have an inferior experience because of the size of the ship. Yeah. So theme cruises have become very popular.
Yeah. I used to be scared of cruises because the ships were not the big ships that they are now, and it could be a rocky ride when you hit certain parts of the ocean, like the waves. But the size of these ships now and the technology of making them stable is incredible.
It is incredible. And, that is another big misconception, that it's very shaky on board. Again, as you just said, Ron, the size of the ships are incredible right now, and the stabilization and the technology has come such a long way. Yeah. And we sail at a relatively slow speed. These are not ships speeding through the water like a motorboat. Mm-hmm.
Good point. Okay. Where do we go for more information? You might have lit a fire under some people here.
Again, I said use a travel agent, and two great brands are Dream Vacations and Cruises.com. They have the most experienced travel counselors in cruising.
Excellent. Brad, it's been fun talking to you. Thanks so much for the time today. Well, that'll do it for me today. You've been wonderful as usual. I don't know how you do it. I seriously don't. I'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new show. That's not a promise. That's a threat. Until then, oh my goodness, I wish you peace. Bye now. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh my God. Thank you. Oh my, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. You're wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.